Hey, it's Fish from Fat Fish. What's going on? You know what? If you watch Fat Fish on a regular basis or listen on Podbean, you know we're all about philanthropy. And I bartended Chuck's Tavern, North Durango, and two really good friends come in Saturday night, Crystal Formaster Owens and her husband Bobby. And Bobby and I have been involved in the Nick Pasquale Foundation to get scholarship for kids, college scholarships for underprivileged kids. And then Crystal says, you know what, Fish? You got to listen to this story about giving back to Boxtown. And I said, what, a boxing thing? She goes, no, it's about a guys that did a friend anniversary in 2021. I'm going to bring them on. And they all grew up in this tough part of Las Vegas. And they decided to pull their resources together and give back to their community. So I'll let them tell the story about Boxtown. So I'm going to bring on Brian, Danny, and Jansen, and then we're going to just chop it up about Boxtown and what their event is. They have an event this Saturday, December 14th, and get everyone else involved. So let's bring them in. What's up, guys?
Good morning.
What up, Big Fish? How are you, buddy?
Good morning.
Good. It's a pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to have you. It's a pleasure to be involved with. Let me just find this right. I got this for you guys. I made this up for you. Let's see. Giving back to Boxtown. Okay. So I'll take their names out. Top right is Danny, the Raider fan. That my favorite guy in this whole thing is Jansen. And then we got Brian on the lower left. Guys, when I heard your story, I was really moved about it. You said, you guys are lifers here in the great city of Las Vegas. My wife and I have been here and built a family 34 years. Talk about Boxtown. Talk about how you guys met, your neighborhood, and give us at Fat Fish and the audience the lineage of your story. Danny?
Well, yeah, I mean it's a pretty long story. I don't know how long we have, but I'll try to brief it up for you real quick. It all started back in the 80s. We all grew up in this neighborhood that everybody knows as Boxtown. Three of us were actually from the neighborhood, and the two others lived across the street on the other side. And we basically just, we all went to elementary school together, junior high school, and then of course high school. And once we all graduated, we got into our professional field, and we all kept in contact. We didn't talk as much throughout the year, but we talk here and there. Jansen, your favorite Raiders fan, is actually my brother-in-law, so he ended up marrying my sister. So I guess I'm stuck with him. And then from there, we just kind of, I would say COVID is around the time that we all got together. We all had a little downtime, and I believe Brian invited us to go out and eat, and we were having a really nice fancy dinner. And I believe Brian brought it up. It was his idea. Hey, let's do something for the neighborhood. And that's kind of where it started, and everybody just started throwing in their resources and their contacts and, things to do to create this event. And this is our fourth year doing it. Every year it's getting bigger and bigger. And to me, it's a great feeling, seeing all these kids smile. And we talk about it amongst ourselves. If somebody would have done that for us as kids, that would have probably changed our life significantly as well. We all come from, I wouldn't say broken families, but missing fathers, missing mothers, blended families, and stuff like that. So that neighborhood did teach us a lot.
And that neighborhood, Brian, if I'm correct, is right by Western High School, next to Friendly Ford for our Las Vegas audience. This is in Las Vegas. What I remember about that neighborhood, I actually had a Ford being serviced there, was the Dairy Queen across the street, which I'm sure you guys frequented all the time. It was a lousy neighborhood back then, right? It was a lower income, middle class, or just lower class neighborhood. Was it gang related? Guys, anyone?
I wouldn't say necessarily not really gang related, but I think the people that live there, even today, they have what they have, but it's probably, I would say it's probably a little bit lower income. The people have a car, but they don't have a whole lot of extra stuff, and some of, they probably don't need it. They're good, but it's always been kind of like that's what was, I think, the coolest thing about that neighborhood. By the way, I've been to that Dairy Queen hundreds of times, if you can tell. And that's actually, the event's actually right behind the Dairy Queen. But back to your point, it was kind of a cool neighborhood because there was every race there. It wasn't predominantly one color. It was really cool. So we grew up with Asians, Mexicans, Hispanics, blacks, whites. That was the really cool part about growing up in that neighborhood. It was a really blended neighborhood. So, but I wouldn't necessarily say it was gang related. There was obviously gangs in there, some gangsters, but I don't think it was necessarily gang related as much. Maybe probably a lot of drug dealing going in that neighborhood. A lot of people back then sold weed and stuff, and probably other stuff. And sometimes those areas, people tend to go there to do their stuff as opposed to doing their own neighborhood. So it's more like that than necessarily like gangsters, or a gang, like one certain gang wasn't in there. It was kind of diversified.
Brian, where did the name Boxtown, is that known throughout Las Vegas? Because the first time I heard that from Crystal, I said, wow, that sounds great. Where did that come from?
You know what? I'm not sure where that stemmed from. That's definitely always how we knew the neighborhood as Boxtown. I don't know who gave it that name, but yeah, it's definitely known throughout the Vegas Valley as that's Boxtown.
It actually was a military housing. I was told, like in the 30s when it was built, it was for military housing, and that's why they all look the same. All the houses, they call it Boxtown because every one of them it's just all square houses, like perfectly square houses, and that's what I was told about 15 years ago. That's why they call it Boxtown.
There's no pitches on the roof, so they're just like a square box.
Correct.
Right. Those old GI houses they had. Yeah. So the giving back to Boxtown. I'm going to show a poster that was sent to me. This is one of them, giving back, the block party. It's the car show. Everyone is on the corner of West Alaska Avenue and North Yale Street. And look at some of the sponsors. You got Findlay Toyota. Obviously you got Metro. You got Buffalo Wild Wings. So this is blown up. And how do we at Fatfish, how do we give back to Boxtown? Is there a website we can go to, Danny?
Yeah, there's actually a logo that you can scan and you can donate, whether it's $5, $2, $10, $20, or if you want to come out to the event and just bring an unwrapped toy, we're more than happy to accept that also to give out to the children. So volunteering, if you want to do some volunteering, reach out to any one of us. We can guide you in the right direction for that as well. Or if you know of a family that, it's going through some tough times, that they're not going to have, a special Christmas, have them come out to this event. And I promise you, they're not going to forget this.
It's fantastic. Again, when you give back like that, the way you three gentlemen are, and you grew up in your neighborhood, and I grew up in a similar neighborhood in Los Angeles, not as, but I would love to find three guys and do for my neighborhood back then that you guys are doing now, because we don't have enough of that. And maybe this will give some, incentives to other bad neighborhoods or guys that live in other neighborhoods in Las Vegas and other parts of town, give them the same kind of oomph. So you said it's Thanksgiving of 2021, right? We're in the middle of COVID, and this whole thing came about. How'd you get all these sponsors? You've got big names in this town doing this. I mean, that's fantastic. How'd you get Findlay? And is one of you guys, Brian? Let me guess. You're a member of Metro?
I am.
Yeah.
I am. I'm a deputy chief for Metro, but at the time I was actually retired. I came back. So I was actually working for the UFC at the time when we had this dinner and we're discussing this. And the UFC is not on that flyer. They're a huge donor as well. They've been very, very helpful on this. So it's all of us have our different connections, have grown up in this town. And it's interesting how when we tell everybody about this, how willing they are to participate and to help.
Awesome. This is Danny. This is Brian. This is Jansen. They are giving back to Boxtown. These are three great philanthropists right here on the Fat Fish Podcast, giving back to the community at a time, especially right now. It's the holidays. I'm gonna put the that on again. Pay back, give back to Boxtown Car Show. Everybody, I'm gonna put this on our website. It's right here, guys. This is better for me. North Alaska and Yale Street. And then you're saying people can come down there and volunteer bring a gift, an unwrapped gift, or they have to be wrapped?
Unwrapped.
Yeah, preferably unwrapped. That way we can see it.
Right.
What age group?
to give it to, whether it's male or female.
Right. So,
And Fish, another thing I wanted to mention too, this is we're hoping, we didn't really have, like Danny said, no one did this for us, right? So when we came up with the idea, 4 years ago, and we're hoping now that this will inspire other people, other kids, other adults to do the same thing. Maybe if it's necessarily not this, but something else, if it's backpack drives before school starts, whatever it is, giving blood, just continue to be a good supporter of your community, because growing up or living in Vegas, everybody says, Sin City. All they think about is the strip and the hotels and the casino and the crime. But there's a lot of goodness this town also. And this is what we're hoping to for us to continue to do, but also inspire other people to do it to wherever they live, whatever it is, donating blood, giving to a soup kitchen, a volunteer, and just get out and do stuff for your community, because there's a lot of good behind Sin City. It's just not all the sin like you hear on the news and in the media, all that stuff. There's a lot of good here also. And that's what we're hoping to also inspire other people to do, because that's how we kind of got inspired. A kid that we did grow up with him, kind of. He lived down the street from us, but he got in a lot of trouble. He dealt with drug addiction. He started doing stuff like this maybe like 10 years ago. And now he goes around and speaks around the country to people with drug addictions and stuff like that. So that was one of the things that kind of inspired us, man, we should do something, and why not do it for our old neighborhood,
Well, what inspires me is that you guys come from a low-income neighborhood, and you're all successful, and you made it out. And, two of you guys are in real estate, want to use a Metro officer. And that right there is a reason to go out there in your own communities and do what these three guys do, because giving back is is something that a lot of people don't do. You guys put your time and effort into it. And I think you guys need to be honored for it, and well deserving of everything and accolades that come from this. And we'd like to see it grow here at Fatfish. So I'm going to put it on our website about what's going on with Boxtown. Like I said, I've been here 34 years. You've seen this town grow, all three of you, obviously. Did you ever think when you grew up, it would become the kind of city that it is, that like I said, when I got here, it might've been, I don't know, Danny, maybe 500,000 people. It's got to be over 2.5 million, right?
Yeah, we're just right underneath 2 million. So we're basically like another LA, and I think I can speak for all of us growing up. We didn't see this coming. I mean, we seen the construction, building in the late 90s and 2000s and stuff like that. But I mean, the explosion is just something that we weren't really thinking that it would happen, Hey, Fish, and I also want to let you know there's two other guys, Edmundo Cavasso and Mike Arthur, that couldn't make it today. So, but they're also a big part of this as well. Mike Arthur works at Finley Chevy, and Mundo owns his own construction company.
Right. Well, living here as long as I have, would you ever thought, Jansen, that maybe 10 years ago, if someone said they're going to put an NFL team in Las Vegas, you say, "Are you nuts? Are you crazy?" I mean, we all thought hockey would come here, guys, because of there's the betting is not much betting on hockey. But now look at us. Now we have a baseball team coming. I guarantee we're gonna have an NBA team coming. If we get our heads out of our butt, we'll figure out what to do with the UNLV football team and keep a coach. You guys have any pull with that? You got Finley? Come on, guys. You
We're trying, man. We're trying. I'm making some phone calls. Try to get Nick Saban or somebody.
Guys. I'm sorry.
He's doing great. It sucks the coach left. It'd be awesome to get another, really qualified coach. And hopefully the Raiders will start winning. The Knights are doing their thing. The WNBA, they're doing their thing. The Knights feeder team is doing well. It's just Rebels have been great. The basketball team's doing pretty good. Just we need the Raiders to get on par with them teams, and we'll be a great city. We're already a great city, but it would help if the Raiders will at least win 8-10 games a year and start, at least getting playoff contention every year would be really nice.
And what I love about the city, and you guys, like obviously, to me and to our audience, I hope you guys are heroes because of what you're doing. But the fact that they're building 2 studios here, Hollywood's going to build, Sony's building a studio in Summerlin. That's going to create jobs. It's going to bring more revenue into the city and help the lower communities and provide jobs. So Guys, you want to say anything in closing? Other than I'm going to blast out again the Alaska and Yale address, and you need anything from anyone that you want to talk about?
No,
We
I
can
would just
provide a
like to
QR
say,
code to you. Oh, sorry, B. We can provide a QR code to you. If anybody wants to make a donation, that'd be great. Whatever, like Danny said, $5, $10, 100, whatever it is, it all goes to the event. And one more, I want to give you one more surprise. I'm not going to give it away, but speaking of Golden Knights, there will be something Golden Knight-ish at the event. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but they were there last year and they're coming out again this year.
And you're going to have to go to see exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Guys, I can't thank you enough for coming on. Anything Fatfish could do, I'm going to blast it out. I work at Chuck's Tavern on North Durango, Jansen. I'm a bartender there.
Right down the street. I'm about a block away, about a mile away.
Well, there you go. Now you got a friend. Now you got a guy. Do you drink?
Look at me. Vodka only now, though. Not as much. Just occasionally. I'm an occasional drinker, but I do like the fish and chips at Shucks.
There you go. Yeah. Well, I'm proud of that. I've been in that company 20 years, and anything we could do here at Fatfish to blow this thing out. I can't thank you enough, Brian, Danny, Jansen, the other two guys you talked about. Give their names again, Danny.
Edmundo Cavazos and Mike Arthur.
Okay. Bundo Carbos. That guy's name sounds like a dish I had over at Donna Maria's Tamales. No offense. What a great name. All right, guys. Thank you so much for
thanks
coming
for
on.
having us, man. We appreciate you. And I would just like to say that just like we're doing, everybody has the same 24 hours in the day. Everybody wakes up with a choice and a chance. And take advantage of the opportunities you have in life to be positive about what you can do and what you can achieve.
Okay. Jansen, or you're right. Amen, brother. Danny, Jansen, or Brian's going to send me that QR code. It's going to be at fishgrunny1@gmail.com. All our people know that. If you want to give some money donation, again, the event is this Saturday, and it's from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. All right, bring an unwrapped gift, go down there, donate some time. You're doing something great for the Las Vegas community, and look at these three. Look at these three guys that grew up not in the in the greatest neighborhood, but they made something of themselves. So there's hope. Yeah, again, Danny, Brian, Jansen, great meeting you, Jansen. I know I'll see you, man. Raider Nation, and
Absolutely.
Fatfish is going to blast whatever you need with Fatfish. After this, you need some philanthropy done, get a hold of me.
Awesome.
All right.
bro.
Thanks, Fish. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Back at you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, guys. Bye, Jansen. Raider Nation.
Let's go Raiders, baby.
Wow. Giving back to Boxtown. Again, look at those guys. Okay, you look at you see Jansen, you think that he was in the latest episode of Duck Dynasty, or he's in Sons of Anarchy. And he is a top real estate guy in town, and they all came from backgrounds, where they didn't have it, and now they're giving back to their community. I love that. Thing about giving back, as I said, I worked at Chuck's Tavern in North Durango, and we are doing philanthropy. We love dogs and cats. We are big animal lovers, like all you guys out there are too. I have a bartender that I work with named Ashley, who I call Dr. Doolittle, because she's so great in fostering dogs. I don't know how many cats she does, but she's got. If you go on her Facebook page, you just talk to her. If you look at her couches, she's got 17 dogs on her couches, and she's always trying to get a dog a home. Well, guess what? Dogs go hungry too, and cats go hungry. So we're doing a thing at Chuck's Tavern. If you want to bring, I'm going to show you a little flyer we got going on. It's called the Animal Network. Saving any breed in need. And we're going to need blankets. We need bully sticks, treats, any kind of wet or dry dog food, cat litter, stuff you'd think you could drop it off to any bartender at Chuck's Tavern. Get it there by this Monday, and we're going to donate it to the Animal Network. We really appreciate that. This is Fish from Fatfish. You'll see me on with Brad tomorrow doing our weekly show. Giving back to the community, giving back to Boxtown, giving back to animals, Raider Nation.